Welcome back to the channel, the Gunk. Now, I've played much of this game, and I do think that it is very highly stylized. I love the color, and I think it is a very pretty game, but it borrows heavily from two games in particular and doesn't do any of the things that it borrows well enough to stand out. The first game is Kena Bridge of Spirits. There's so much in the same way that you clear an area in Kena Bridge of Spirits and the world comes back to life. It's almost the exact same way in the Gunk. The other game is Luigi's Mansion 3. So you have this, for all intent and purpose, a vacuum cleaner, and you are using it to suck up the gunk, and you have these physics-based puzzles that involve using that vacuum cleaner, but nothing in the world is as physically active or reactive to that vacuum cleaner, even in the way that they are in Luigi's Mansion 3, and that game is running on the Switch. Now, there are a number of technical issues like pop in when I'm playing this game, but one that is completely unforgiving is when you are sucking up the gunk, after you clear an area, the world comes back to life. I ran into one area where I completely cleared the gunk and I'm waiting for the world to come back to life so that I can progress, and nothing happens. Now, I thought maybe I had missed something. I went back in, nothing. Tried again, nothing. Reloaded the save file, cleaned everything out of the area with the vacuum cleaner, nothing happens. And then literally 24 hours later, go back to that level, try again, and then all of a sudden, everything works again. So literally a game-breaking bug right away, and that's never a good sign. If I had to really talk about this game and sell it to somebody to play, it would be a game that is just okay. It's mediocre. It's just mediocre enough to be serviceable. And that's not a great, way to pitch a game. But I think there were so many ideas here that could have been expanded upon, and I don't know why they were. The story is just this lighthearted story where you're scavengers, you're going around looking for resources so that you can sell them, and you stumble upon this planet that no one's been to yet, conceivably, so you think that it's going to be ripe for the picking. You get there and you realize that it is an old planet and life has been there before you, and then you uncover this sort of alien artifact, and I'm not going to ruin the game in case you want to play it, but it's nothing like War and Peace or anything like that. But as far as the gameplay goes, it's very repetitious and the puzzles aren't very interesting so far, and I've played quite a bit of the game. So I would just say that it's mediocre. It's one of those games that I think most people say, well, it's in Game Pass, so. And I don't think that's an excuse. I don't like the idea of a game just being mediocre and somehow going from being mediocre to good simply because it's in Game Pass. I think you have to judge it based on its strengths or its lack of strength when you play the game. The best thing I can say about this game is that I really love the use of color, and I think the graphics are stylized to the point where you want to continue, you want to explore. I found myself stopping at certain instances and just looking around at the world, and there's, again, just enough here to compel me to keep playing. I don't know if that's good or bad, but you've played this game a million times before, especially if you've been playing games for a long time. There's nothing new here. And again, the use of that, vacuum cleaner and the physics in the world should be much more centralized to what the game is. The gameplay should be built around that more. And when you've got a game like, again, Luigi's Mansion 3, and there are more physics, there are more physical interactions with the vacuum cleaner in a world built for a system like the Switch, I think there should be a lot more here when it's running on at least this generation hardware or even last generation hardware. So officially, the Gunk is about scavengers Rainy and Beck, and they arrive on an alien planet to gather resources and alien plants, but discover that the planet is corrupted by a black slime-like substance named the Gunk. While Rainy plans to save the planet from the Gunk, mistrust starts to fester between the two friends. According to the developer, the game's 3D visuals required their team to work with more powerful hardwares. Therefore, the team partnered with Microsoft to release the game exclusively on PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and Series S. Now, more powerful hardware, I'm not sure why they needed it. Again, this is a good-looking game, but certainly not a next-generation game. And without really in-depth physics-based puzzles, you're not really utilizing the hardware much at all, especially when, again, I keep talking about the gameplay styles of Kena Bridge of Spirits and Luigi's Mansion 3. There aren't any physics-based puzzles in this that rise to the level of the ones in Luigi's Mansion, running on really inferior hardware, the Switch. So that's my take on the Gunk. I think it's an okay game. It's just mediocre enough to give it a play, which isn't a great way to talk about a game or to push a game out or to, recommend a game to people. I certainly wouldn't recommend this game to anybody, and I certainly am not going to sit here and say, well, it's in Game Pass, so we can forgive some gameplay elements that just should be there. I think it's just an okay game. I don't know what else to say about it other than the fact that there are times that I am enjoying what I'm doing. There are times that I like just looking at the world. Now that's not gameplay, that's a personal thing for me, so I stop and I look around and I notice the fact that, okay, hey, the game is at least running well. There's no screen tearing that I can notice. The load times are, quick enough. But again, I don't think just being mediocre enough to give it a play, it is something that should be celebrated. So there's a lot here that could be expanded upon. It's a shame that it wasn't. Maybe it will be in the future. Now, would I recommend that you run out and play this game right now? No. Would I recommend that you run out and buy this game? No. If I had to put a score on it, what would it be? Probably around a 6.5, which is okay. Again, the takeaway from the Gunk is it's just mediocre enough to give it a play. Let me know what you think in the comment section below if you played this game. Think about subscribing to the channel, share this video out. At the very least, hit that like button. It'll help me grow the channel, and I will see you in the next video.